All right. This is G Funky Boxing, and I'm here to do my prediction on the fight this weekend with Jose Ramirez and Viktor Postol. First thing I want to do is this: hit you with my intro, as usual. Yes, thank you, Conan, for that. But anyway, yeah, this is I just want to say this real quick about this fight. I'm glad that this fight is finally happening and that we're just a few days away from it. Um, this fight got canceled multiple times this year um, due to the pandemic that we're dealing with, and I know that that's got to be super frustrating for Ramirez and Postal because these dudes, man, they've had to start camp, shut it down. Uh, start camp again, shut it down, and now they finally get a chance to get into square circle and uh, and get it in. You know what I'm saying? So we got, in my opinion, Postal. He's a very good fighter. Classic European boxing style that he uses. He's got some good wins. But he stepped in there with some of the world class guys, some of the best guys in his division, and he's come up short. Um, as for Jose Ramirez, in my opinion, he's probably the most underrated fighter and champion. I should say unified champion in boxing right now. Like you don't hear a lot of people talking about Jose Ramirez and what he's done. I'm gonna just go over their records real quick. For Ramirez, it's 25-0 with 17 knockouts. Um, Postal is 31-2. So he's lost a couple of times. I believe his only losses were to Terrence Crawford and Josh Taylor. It's just not bad. Both those guys are, those are good fighters. Um, but he did come up short in those fights. So, I think this is, man, this is a pretty for me, it's a pretty simple prediction. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think Jose. I'm just gonna say it flat out. I think Jose Ramirez is gonna knock Postal out in 6 rounds. That's my prediction. 6 round knockout by Jose Ramirez, and I'm gonna explain to you why I think that. Um, I've learned a lot about Ramirez in his last fight with Maurice Hooker. Now he went into enemy territory, went into Hooker's backyard. Uh, the belts are on the line. He goes in there and knocks out Hooker in dramatic fashion. Uh, Gets the job done in what I thought was a fantastic fight. Action packed from the very beginning, and you could just tell right away that somebody was going to go out in that fight. You could just tell by the way the action was going early. But I did learn some things about Ramirez. Um, when he was with Freddie Roach, I used to watch him fight, and I would think, yeah, this guy, he's not that bad. Sometimes he gets a little wild in there, but he's tough. He's got a good chin. He showed, some decent power. I actually thought he was one of those guys that would just the accumulative power. He would, hit you and hit you and hit you for 9, 10 rounds, and the next thing you know, you're getting ready to check out. That kind of changed with the Hooker fight. They were in a slugfest, and he caught Hooker with a beautiful cleanup left hook off of the 1-2 combination. He threw a left hook behind it and caught Hooker leaning back, and that was the end of it. Pretty much, he ended up falling up against the ropes, getting hit with 4 or 5 shots. Referee jumps in, stops the fight. I didn't think he had that kind of power to hurt somebody with one shot like that. Like it wasn't like Hooker was showing signs of wearing down up until that point. It was just 1, 2, 3. That left hook came, and the knees buckled, and then the fight was over. I think that's I think that's due to him going and training with Robert Garcia. I think Garcia has done some good things with him as far as his footwork goes. You know, going in and out, but also staying on balance always. Um, you know, dipping real low and getting under punches. I've noticed little changes in him for the better. So, Garcia, man, people got to start giving him some credit, man. He's becoming one of the best trainers in the game right now, man. Um, and as for Postol, like I said, he's got that classic European stance. He likes to move around the ring. He likes to, use his jab to kind of blind you. His guard is real active. He'll throw little throwaway jabs, 1, 2, 3, and then he'll try to sneak a right hand in there or something, or he's pawing at you with the jab, and he'll try to stick you with a real stiff jab or left hook, something like that. He tries to get you to think about what he's going to do. His movement is okay around the ring. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Defensively, to me, he's not very good. Doesn't really move his head a whole lot, and that's why I think it's a nightmare matchup for Postol. Ramirez is relentless, man, at times, and he's not very shy. He's going to get to know you pretty quickly in there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Postol is going to do very well with that. Some things I noticed with Ramirez in the Hooker fight was that Hooker was kind of doing a lot of things similar to what Postol does, as far as with the lead hand. He was doing kind of the same thing that Postol does, where he kind of just sticks it out there, like throw, like here touch this. I want to see what you're gonna do when I stick my hand out, and then he'll try to throw something quick after that. Postol kind of does the same thing. The only difference I see between the two is that with Hooker, he kind of, instead of why should I say this? Hooker, after he would do that with the jab and throw a right hand after, or a left hook, he would just kind of lean back away from Ramirez, and that's how he ended up getting caught. He was leaning back away from punches, and he got clipped leaning backwards. As for Postol, I noticed that he kind of just, like, when he's pawing with the jab, and even when he's throwing his jab, if he doesn't connect it, what he does is he'll kind of reach out and, like, try to grab you into a clinch or kind of lean on you, and he leaves his fucking chin right in the air. I've noticed that a lot. He doesn't really shift his weight very well from front to back while he's bouncing. He kind of likes to lean forward. What I notice, like, he'll lean forward, jab, and then lean forward, and then if he doesn't connect with something, whether it's a stiff jab behind the little pawing jab or the right hand, he'll just kind of come in and kind of try to grab you. I see Ramirez being able to move around that active guard of his, and from what I seen, when that chin is up in the air, man, I see a straight right hand coming. And he he throws a good overhand right, Jose Ramirez. I seen that in multiple fights that he's been in. Crawford, Josh Taylor, even Lucas Matisse in a fight that he won. I noticed Matisse was able to land punches by just slipping under the active guard of Postol's. He was landing straight right hands to the body. He was even landing left hooks off slipping under those little pawing jabs that Postol was doing. And it's because he just stands there with his fucking head up, with his chin up sometimes. I don't see it ending well, man. I see Jose landing that punch pretty regularly in this fight, and I think it's going to end up ending the fight around the 6th round is what I'm going to say, man. Ramirez, like I said, the improvements I've noticed have been really good, like his head movement. Like, he was able to, like early on, that active guard of Hooker and the longer reach of Hooker gave him a little bit of trouble, but he was able to show that he could adjust to that by getting low, slipping underneath, trying to reach to the body, coming up top with shots. And like I said, Hooker leans away most of the time But Postol just kind of leans forward on his front foot. I see him, man, getting hit with overhand rights, left hooks to the body, even straight right hands to the body underneath that active guard. And I'm not to say that he won't give Ramirez some trouble. I mean, I think he'll be able to sneak some shots in there on Ramirez because we all know anytime you got a guy who throws that many shots like Ramirez does, you're gonna leave yourself open eventually. And Postol's gonna be able to sneak some shots in there, but I just don't think he's got the kind of power to hurt Ramirez. Um, which Ramirez got a fucking granite chin, man. He took some solid shots from Hooker and kept coming forward. I didn't really see him in trouble in that fight, and I don't see Postol's power giving him any kind of issues. So I see a stoppage here, man, in round 6 via overhand rights, man. I think it's a disaster of a matchup for Postol. There's a highway that he leaves, man. When he's out there, he leaves that left hand out there. He leaves his chin straight in the air, and I see that right hand coming, and I see it coming hard, and we'll see if he's able to take it, man. If he's able to take Ramirez's power, and it goes 12, I still think Jose wins. I think he's just gonna outwork him, but I think Ramirez has got the power now to stop him. I feel like he's able to generate more power because of his better footwork that he's been able to use from the Garcia camp. So yeah, it's a pretty quick prediction that I've done here, but I think it's a pretty easy fight, man. To be honest with you, to predict. That's just the way that I see it. So if you guys want to, I got a few minutes here before I wrap it up. If you guys want to ask or give your opinion and your thoughts on what you think is going to happen here, go ahead and leave it in the chat. I'm going to see who's in here. Let's see. We got Bruce Goes says, salute. What's up, bro? Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. Black and Brown, what's up, man? Thanks for being here, bro. We're going to get together soon, man, and do that show. Whenever you think is a good time, man, just let me know. And Run PMC is in here. He says, "What's up, G Funk?" And then he says, "Ramirez footwork looked better and more under him." And yes, absolutely, I think so, man. I feel like under Freddie Roach, man, he was just kind of a little bit sloppy with the footwork, a little bit wild with his punches. I feel like Garcia has been able to get him to sit down on his shots better, but also to stay, bounce back and forth. He shifts his weight, front foot to back foot, front foot to back foot, pretty good now, and I like what I'm seeing out of Jose Ramirez, man. I really am liking what I'm seeing. Little fact here about the future here for Ramirez. I mean, I think he's going to beat Postol. I'll be shocked if he loses. I mean, this is boxing. You never know. But I think it's it's a lock that Ramirez is going to win this thing. But here's the thing, man. If he beats Postol and Taylor beats whoever he's fighting, I know he's got a fight coming up. If we can get those two guys to fight for undisputed, right? I believe, let me see. What belt does Ramirez have? I know he has a WBC. And what other belt does he have? God, I can't remember. If anybody can remember which titles he holds, let me see. See if I can look it up real quick. Okay, he's got the WBC and the WBO. So that means Taylor has the WBA and IBF belts. If he could beat Josh Taylor, Ramirez will be the first Mexican fighter to hold all 4 major belts in a division. Now, I know you're thinking, man, how could that be? How come no other Mexican champion has done that before? Well, I said all 4. Not being undisputed. I mean, there's been undisputed Mexican champions. Vicente Salivar has had the WBA, WBC back in the 60s. Ruben Olivares had it. The WBA, WBC, Chuchu Castillo, Rafael Herrera. All these dudes had WBA, WBC. Now this was back in the 70s, in the 60s. Now that's all that they had. Yeah, thank you for that, Run PMC. Those are the only two belts that they had at the time. The IBF and the WBO came later. We've had other guys that had all three belts. Actually, Oscar De La Hoya had a chance to become to hold all four belts at once against Hopkins, I believe. And I was trying to think of who else had the opportunity to do that. I just couldn't. You get old like me, sometimes you can't remember everything. But from my recollection, it was Oscar De La Hoya who was the last one to have the opportunity to have the WBC, the WBO, IBF, and WBA straps when he fought Hopkins. Now, we only came up short there in that one, but yeah, came damn close to it. He had the opportunity to do it, and Jose Ramirez has a chance to do it too. If he can get Josh Taylor, and I think he beats Taylor. I do. I think he beats him if we can get that fight. But don't really want to talk about that because that fight hasn't been made yet. So, but I just think he can beat him too. I think it'd be a fucking great fight though. But I think he beats Josh Taylor and becomes undisputed at 140 pounds. Now I know Ramirez has already talked about moving up and fighting Terrence Crawford. Crawford, man, he's got to get busy himself, man. If he's waiting on guys moving up from 140, there's a lot of fish to fry at 147 already for him, man. So he better get going. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's another video. It's another topic. But G Funky Boxing is taking Jose Ramirez by 6-round knockout, and I can't wait to see it, man. Like I said, this fight's been delayed a couple times, and I'm glad that it's finally here and it's going to happen. But I'm going to cut this thing here, man. I will see you guys tonight. Make sure you guys are all there for Hispanics Causing Panic at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's on D-Style Boxing's channel. Not here, on D-Style Boxing's channel. So make sure that you guys go over there. If you're not subscribed to him, subscribe to him. We will be live tonight. I'm sure we'll be talking about this fight again and other topics in the boxing world. But I'm going to cut it here, man. I appreciate you guys for joining me live. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. And we'll see you on the next one, man. G-Funk is out.